Hi, everybody. This is Dawn Mitchell, and welcome to another episode of Dawn of Sports. Jim and I have a great show for you today, and we also welcome in Caleb Truax. You know him, Minnesota's own legend, right? World champion boxer coming your way. He was the IBF super middleweight title holder, challenged for the WBA regular middleweight title back in 2015, and he recently retired. We talked to him about that decision, what he's doing now, and some of his favorite fights. So stick around for Caleb Truax.
Yes, welcome back to Dawn of Sports with our star Dawn Mitchell of Fox 9 Sports. We're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studio. Our guest today, Caleb Truax, the great Minnesota boxer who has recently decided to retire. We have a nice conversation with him. We've already recorded, so I know it's good conversations. Caleb's always been a great guy, and he's fun to talk to. We're sponsored by Rudy Luther, Toyota, Define Destinations, and Bay to Bay Boat Club. And Dawn, let's kind of bring a conversation that we were starting to have off the air onto the air. The Timberwolves lose 2 games to the defending champions, a team that destroyed everybody in the playoffs last year. And all of a sudden, especially on the internet, because that's what the internet is for, you see panic and anger. The series, we're talking here on Monday morning, the series is 2-2.
Right.
The series is 2-2. It's a best of 3 series for a chance to beat the world champs and advance to what would be another great matchup. I just think we have to learn as Minnesotans to appreciate the drama and excitement of high-level sports without thinking that every time you lose a game, the sky is falling.
Yeah. For me, I understand being upset with how they've played the last 2 games. I totally get that, right? Far cry from the first 2 games, and you're riding high and all of that. But then to be like, where it's tied at 2, it's over. We never win anything. I'm like, it is tied. Like, you're going to miss out on the beauty of a game 5 or a beauty of a game 6 or 7. You know, this is it. You don't just throw your hands up in the air and be like, that's it. You know, I knew this was going to happen. That's what was driving me nuts. Yes, you could be upset, like, where'd the defense go, right? Where's the offense? Like, they're not playing like, come on. Like, yes, I'm all for calling out something that's not going well in that game. But to just be like, we never win anything. I'll never see anything of a championship in my lifetime. I don't know. That's not in my DNA, Jim, to think that way. And yes, I get the Minnesota landscape of sports. I get it, but I don't buy into the woe is me when it's tied. A series is tied at 2-2. Someone said, well, did you see anything in that game that would think you that it would maybe win in game 5? I'm like, how about the fact that no home team has won? Yeah, they're going to Denver again. You don't know. This is why you play the game, and you're just sucking the joy out of the sport. And like you said, you know, that battle, they're going to be 16-0. They're going to fly through and be undefeated and win the NBA championship, Jim. One little roadblock, and it's like, that's it. Here we go again. I don't know. That gets me so mad. That mindset gets me mad. Fired up, Jim. I'm fired up.
Yeah, she's not fired up. By the way, Brandon Morton's our producer. We appreciate you listening. If you like the show, please subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's free. It's the easiest way to listen. You can also go to talknorth.com and find we have the best sports lineup in town. Krasinski, Russo, Roy Smalley, Lavelle O'Neal on baseball, Jeff Diamond on football, John Milan preps, Mike Grimm on the Gophers, outdoor content, Dave Lee's show. And if you like a show, please subscribe. It's just the easiest way for you to listen, and it's also good for us. We do appreciate it. There's a difference between analysis and fatalism. And, you know, I'm in the analysis business, and I certainly recognize they aren't doing things very well here the last couple of games, and they have to change things. That's different than saying, oh, my God, you lost a game or 2, so the world is ending, and you have no chance. This is not supposed to be easy. The Western Conference is incredibly difficult. The Denver Nuggets are a great team, a well-coached team, and they destroyed everybody in the playoffs last year. This was not supposed to be easy, and I don't know why you would want it to be easy. I think the fight the back and forth nature of these long series is the beauty of sports. And guess what?
Yes.
Finch and his defensive plans won the first two games with great effort from his players. And Malone, who's a great coach and a great motivator, used that to get his team both fired up and to make strategic adjustments that won games 3 and 4. And now here we are. And who wouldn't want to watch these next 2 or 3 games?
Right. Absolutely. And I'm with you. I'm all for when the season is done, you can be like, all right, here we go again. We haven't won anything. Understand that, but not now. This is where the beauty lies. At least that's what I think true sports fans should enjoy. Enjoy the battle. Enjoy them overcoming the fact that they laid an egg twice at home. So did the Denver Nuggets in the first 2 games. I don't hear any Nuggets fan. That's it. I don't know. It's that when I grew up, there was this radio station that when the Red Sox were officially done, I told you this, they put a hearse that drove around Fenway Park and they live broadcasted their wake. I get it. I get it. Like, and that's deserved, right? Like, well deserved to have that done if, okay, they didn't make it to the postseason or they were, bounced early. I get that. I just don't get it when it's 2-2 against the defending champs. I don't.
Also, the Wolves were not favored in this series.
Right.
This is not a surprise. I mean, actually, you could argue that being 2-2 at this point is a win for an underdog team.
Right. So are they playing the way that we've seen them play? No. So are there things that they can improve from the last 2 games? Absolutely. And like you said, analyze that, call them out on that. But coming at me, that's what people are like, well, I didn't stir the pot. Someone came at me. We never win anything. I'll never see a championship in my lifetime. And I'm like, are you watching the series? Like last time I checked, it's still going on. So,
and here's the other thing, just mathematically, there's like your team has about a 2 or 3% chance winning a championship any given year. So, I mean, I know that the history makes people want to add on every time a team doesn't win a championship, that gets added to the legacy, but it's a horrible way to look at that. I always say this, if losing bothers you that much, I don't think sports are for you. I think you should go to the movies.
Right.
And you know what? Go to the same movie every day. You'll know what the ending is.
You can't be so soft. You got to enjoy the battle.
Yes. And we'll now transition to another team that, guess what, hasn't won a World Series in a while, but is an absolute blast. The Minnesota Twins have been the best team in baseball for about a month now. And I don't know, and I think they're overachieving. They have a bunch of utility guys and call-ups. They're winning without Byron Buxton and Royce Lewis. They've had injuries in the bullpen. Correa was out for a while. But once again, enjoy the moment. They're playing great right now.
Yeah, and surprising people, right? Because all of a sudden, until the sausage, episode came out, it wasn't looking good. So, again, it's a long season, and I even like how people say, "Well, we haven't won in a while." There are some teams that have never won a World Series, people ever, right? I grew up with the curse, and then when I worked in Chicago, the Cubs had the curse of the GOAT. I mean, there's teams that go forever, a drought. Now, yes, last time, 91, that's been a while. But enjoy the ride. Like you said, I don't know. Yes. I enjoy watching this Twins team just because even if they just, bring someone in, all of a sudden they're like, oh, all right, okay. I mean, you're giving guys experience while some of their top names are out. And I'm enjoying it. I love it.
I also like the people. I like Conley, I like Finch. I like the Timberwolves players. They've been great to be around all year. I like, Falvey and Rocco. His players, for the most part, are really fun to be around. It's, you got to enjoy the day to day. Right. These seasons last a long time, and you don't know how it's going to end. And there's nothing guaranteed and nothing promised you. It's you have to enjoy the process, not just beg for a certain outcome.
Exactly. We kind of sound like a coach. Enjoy the process. Yeah. Right. It's true.
All right. Now let's talk about a team that has won 4 championships and not that long ago, the Minnesota Lynx. This is going to be a fascinating season. Collier, guess what? She's not dealing with pregnancy and birth this year. She's healthy, and this is going to be her first year where on opening day she's a superstar. She made a leap last year. She was a good player before that, an all-star, but now she's really one of the elite players in the league. It looks like they fixed their point guard problem. It looks like they're healthy. They have an intriguing draft pick. They have the second pick in last year's draft coming back. I don't know. I really don't know how this team's going to do, but I am interested.
I am too. And I love how, and it's not only Nafisa, but like Bridget Carlton, I think Cheryl Reeve the other day said she wants her hunting threes, like she's already giving them goals to go for. The season hasn't really even taken off. And we're hearing they're opening up bowl seating, more tickets for when Caitlin Clark gets here. But the actual team, like you said, there's Nafisa, who's already just a powerhouse. And then you have players that are already being challenged from the get-go. I'm intrigued to see what they can do and if they can rise again. Cheryl, I know that she's going to leave and be at the Olympics for a little bit, but I'm really excited for this whole entire WNBA season to kind of burst wide open. I want to see the fights. I want to see the battles. I want things to be relevant and down to what I love about basketball is when it's down to there's 2 minutes left in a game and every couple of seconds matter and going to the line could make a difference, like that down to the second where you've got even 14 seconds left in a game and it lasts 20 minutes. Like that's the basketball I want to see, both from the WNBA and in the next few games for the Wolves.
And as you said, you mentioned Caitlin Clark. She's helping, the WNBA was already on a good path. She's going to help accelerate that. They announced that they're going to invest $50 million in team charters, which is a major breakthrough for that league. We've also seen some teams saying, guess what? We're taking the bus this weekend. So they haven't gotten it all locked down yet. They're moving in that direction, at least the right direction to be moving in. And listen, on this show, we try to also highlight other women's sports, and we always at least give the Minnesota Aurora a mention. You had Colette Montgomery on your show recently. Did you learn any more about her?
Yeah, actually, it's not going to be released yet. We're holding the episode of Unscripted. No, but it's something to keep an eye on coming up. We're going to release it right before their first home game. And what I really like is, it's hard to follow up a Nicole Lukic where you kind of get this team, birth this team based blocks, have no regular season losses, but no wins in the championship game either. To fill in, to step into those shoes. And what I love about Colette is she isn't trying to be Nicole. She is just herself. And she's kind, she's funny, she's a great coach. She already has all of these young women listening. And I spent the day with the team the other day, and I really love this group. And there's a lot of new faces, and there's a lot of international players this year from us, from New Zealand, from Japan, from France. I really think Minnesota Aurora is taking that next step forward. And you have a coach who used to play in England, and now she's here, and she's been here for a long time. She helped raise the whole program in Edina. She works hand in hand teaching with the U.S. Soccer Association. So I am thinking it's in really good hands, Jim. I'm really looking forward to it. What I'm also looking forward to is seeing the looks on the faces of the new young women when they hit the field at home for the first time and they feel that love. I don't know if any of these athletes have had a chance to have a packed stadium kind of chanting their name with the music and everything like that. That's an experience, and that could really lift a team up even higher.
No doubt about it. MNAurora.com is where you can check out news on the team and buy tickets. They sell that joint out. I would get the tickets early. I'd bring your kids, your friends. It's a scene. It's a fun thing. Also, and as we're talking about all this, we want to let you know how we're able to run this network and grow this network. We rely on our sponsors, and Rudy Luther Toyota has been great to us for a very long time.
Yes.
We want you to know more about Rudy Luther Toyota.
Ready for a women-forward car dealership? Rudy Luther Toyota empowers their many women on staff in sales, management, and service. Whether you are looking for a new Toyota or pre-owned vehicle, Rudy Luther Toyota has something for everyone. Every vehicle comes with a Luther Advantage. 10 cents off fuel and car wash discounts at holiday stations, Luther Advantage warranty, and 5-day return policy on pre-owned vehicles. Located just 5 minutes west of downtown Minneapolis, off 394 and General Mills Boulevard. And they're also hiring. Want to join the team but don't know where to start? Visit rudyluthertoyota.com today.
Also, thanks to one of our newer sponsors across the TalkNorth.com platform, Bay to Bay Boat Club.
Bay to Bay Boat Club offers a limited number of season-long memberships in our private club and half-day or full-day pontoon boat rentals on Lake Minnetonka. Members have the opportunity to play on luxurious pontoon boats as well as a variety of well-appointed deck boats, speedboats, and offshore boats. Our daily pontoon boats are deluxe, custom-built boats with many amenities and comfortable seating for up to 14 people. Bay to Bay Boat Club, Country Club Boating, 24 years in business and voted Minnesota's best 3 years in a row. Please visit us at baytobayboatclub.com for more information. We look forward to welcoming you this summer.
And as I said earlier, we're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services studio. And by the way, Dawn, where can people watch the Minnesota Aurora games this year?
Minnesota Aurora games, Jim. Thank you very much. All the home games can be seen on Fox 9 Plus. I think it's a great outlet. So if you can't get to Egan, if you can't get to the home games, you turn on Fox 9 Plus and you can not miss a moment of the action.
Excellent. All right, let's get to Dawn's conversation. I'll throw out a question too, but it's mainly Dawn's conversation with Caleb Truax, great boxer, great guy. As promised, we've had such a run of good guests thanks to Dawn. Today's guest, Caleb Truax, St. Michael, great boxer, has decided to hang it up. We're going to chat with Caleb about his career, his future, and Dawn, I'll let you start it off.
All right. Well, I am so excited to have Caleb Truax on our podcast. Woo woo! Minnesota's own world champion boxer. Your last fight was June 24th, and just in April at the end of the month, you decided to retire. And I know you and I have spoken before that your body says one thing, but your heart says another. So you had to really come to that decision. What went into that?
I was kind of dragging my feet and making the official announcement, but after my last fight, I knew it was time to hang it up. I knew I couldn't compete at the level that I wanted to, that championship level that I've been at for the last 10 years. And I can still get it done a little bit in the ring, but I don't want to be one of those guys that just hangs around and tries to make a little money and gets beat up when they're old. So boxing is a young man's game. And after 40 fights and being 40 years old, I figured it was time.
Well, let's take you into that fight if you don't mind. So Burley Brooks, he won by unanimous decision, but it was during the match, not after, right? I think you told me earlier, like you didn't feel your reflexes are there. Like what was going through your mind in the middle of that? While you're supposed to be fighting, your brain is also saying, I don't know, right?
Yeah. So prior to that fight, I hadn't fought in almost 2.5 years, actually over 2.5 years. And had some cancellations due to COVID, and that was a real rough stretch for me. But it had been 2.5 years since I last fought, and was training hard and preparing, and things feel good in sparring and things feel good in preparation, but you can't really simulate that full speed fight night speed when you're in sparring. And after about the first or second round, I was like, oh man, like things ain't going as fast as they used to. And I can see stuff, but I can't pull the trigger like I used to. And after about the second round, I figured it was going to be a long night, and not that I got hurt or not that he beat me up or anything. I just couldn't do what I normally would have been able to do. And, 3 or 4 years prior to my last fight, Burley Brooks is a good fighter, but it's a guy that I would have probably knocked out in a few rounds. And when you get old, that doesn't happen. So it was time to call it a day.
Well, what I love about true blue athletes is they know that they want to go out on top, right? They don't want to just hang around the sport. And when you are built the way you are, Caleb, that is your heart, right? Saying, if I can't live up to my own expectations, it's time to move on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I had been, when I first started boxing, I never really wanted to be a professional boxer. And the guys that were kind of in my gym at the time were pro fighters, but they were guys that were just kind of journeymen and just kind of fighting to make a check and make a few bucks here and there. And that's kind of who I first was around when I first got into boxing, and I didn't want to end up like that. And obviously I had a lot of success in my career and 40 fights and 31 wins, but I just didn't want to be a diminished fight as a diminished product going into the ring. It's not fair to myself, not fair to the fans, and just not fair to the sport to go in there and just try to make money, knowing that I couldn't do what I wanted to do.
Well, you retire from the sport a legend in Minnesota. You do. Is that hard for you to reconcile? Because you are humble, like that you are.
Yeah.
So you say 40 fights, right? 31, 6-2, and 1 no contest. That is unbelievable, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been kind of it's been an emotional roller coaster since I announced my retirement. Sad and proud and this and that. But that has been one thing I've kind of I haven't really fully grasped yet is the fact that everyone's calling me a legend and this and that. And I always just went out there and tried to put one foot in front of the other one and give my best effort for the fans and the best effort for myself and my family. But I've obviously always knew that I was looked up upon in the boxing community. But for all the people that come out of the woodworks to say, you're a legend, one of the best, local athletes of this generation, and blah blah blah, it's pretty humbling.
It's awesome too. And you didn't even start till you were like 19 or something, right? Weren't you like a baseball
20? Yeah, I was 20.
Right? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was 20. Yeah.
How did it come about?
I was a baseball player in high school and a football player in high school. And I went to school in Virginia to play football and hurt my knee and ended up coming back to the University of Minnesota just to focus on getting a degree and getting a job. And that's when I picked up boxing at age 20. And most of the guys that I boxed with, especially at the top level, those guys have all been fighting since they've been 8 years old, and that's basically the only sport that they ever done. And that's usually the case for boxing. It's kind of like a sport where it requires so much time that you don't really have time to do other sports, and you kind of get stuck in the trap of just being in the gym every day and not doing anything else. And one of the things that helped me pick up the sport so late was the fact that I was a good athlete, moving from baseball to football to basketball to everything, and having some background and just athletics and a base to build upon really, really helped me pick the sport up faster than I would have been able to normally if I was picking up at 20 years old.
Would you ever have thought at 20 that you'd be doing it for 2 decades and can walk away without a huge injury or anything?
No. I just wanted to do it because I enjoyed myself. I still remember the first time I ever did it. I was sitting in my apartment with my buddy Rob Sutherling at the University Village, and we saw an ad for a tough guy contest in the city pages. And we're like, yeah, we got nothing else to do. Let's try this. And we both got our asses kicked, but I stuck with it and he didn't. And 20 something years later there, I was a world champion.
It's that challenge of, we got nothing else to do. That turns into this awesome, legendary career.
Pretty much.
What I do also love about you is, you are also a dad, and your perspective changes a little bit. Well, first of all, right, a girl dad too. So I think I've mentioned this to you before. Like I would not want to be a guy dating your daughters or another female dating. I don't want to be anybody dating your daughters, right? With you answering the door, right? That's a little bit pressure.
Gia's going to know how to throw a good 3-piece combination by the time she's dating age. That's for sure. And my buddies and I always joke it's going to be like the scene from Bad Boys 2 and Will Smith and Martin are at home, and the boyfriend comes to pick up the daughter, and we'll just be there. We'll be sitting in my basement watching my old fights and see, this is when I knocked this guy out. So don't take her out and don't try nothing sneaky with her.
I know. I can just imagine. I had 4 brothers and my dad, right? And they would always say, "Fake high, go low." That's all they would say. Fake
Yeah.
high, go low. Like I didn't even understand that until now. You get older and you watch fights. I'm like, oh, that's what they're referring to. Okay, okay. Oh, that's awesome. But it also gives you a different perspective too as you get older, right? Like take care of yourself, like, leave the game while you can, right?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very proud of what I did in the sport, and also proud of the fact that I was able to get out of the game with minor injuries and still with my wits about me. And a lot of times you see boxing people hang on too long, and it's just it's sad to see the decline that they have for taking too many punches over the years and whatever it may be. And I'm glad that I got out in my own terms and can look back and be proud of what I did.
If you could step out of your role as being the athlete and kind of be a fan of boxing, what is your favorite bout? Was it the Thrilla in Manila? Like what was it for you when you look at the sport? Like, yes, that one right there.
Well, that's a good one. That's one of the best fights of all time. My favorite fights, that was a little bit too early for me before I started watching. Actually, before I was born, actually. But I remember watching like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson, and like the mid '90s to mid to late '90s, watching it over at my friend Rob's house, who I told you that I was the one that picked up the sport with. And his dad had a black box where you didn't have to pay for the didn't have to pay for
Nice.
the pay-per-view. So we'd watch the pay-per-views over there. I remember watching those. And more recently, I just had so many like fight parties at my house with like Floyd Mayweather fights and Manny Pacquiao fights and friends and family and coming over to my place and just eating some good food and drinking some beers and enjoying and gambling a little bit on the fights and just enjoying the sport.
Yeah, I didn't see my first fight till it was pay-per-view came out, right? So like, what is this pay-per-view thing? And then everyone would crowd over someone's house and watch it. And I'm like, oh, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's fun.
When you look at old, well, not even old, when you look at some of the fighter, the movies, like the old Rocky movies, if you were trying to explain to someone like that's in the movies and this is real life, what is the big disparity in between the two?
Yeah. Well, you can't punch somebody like 500 times in the face and expect them to still stand up and not be hurt. So that's the one. That's the glaring disparity. But no, I love all the Rocky movies. Most boxing movies are tough for me to watch just because now that I'm been in the sport so long, I'm a harsh movie critic to begin with, and if it's not perfect, I'm just like, that's BS. It wouldn't happen. But mostly it's when it comes to the thing that's not realistic. It's just you can't get hit that clean that many times as in a Rocky movie, and getting punched by Apollo Creed, who's 200 and however many pounds and huge and jacked. You can only take so many clean punches from a guy that big and not be knocked out.
Or even survive, right?
Yeah.
Who would play you in the movie?
I have a bunch of people tell me I look like Jamie Foxx once in a while, so I gotta say Jamie Foxx.
Oh, that would be awesome. He'd have to put on some muscle though,
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Well, not right now. I've been retired for about 6 months. I haven't been working out too much, so I have to get back in shape.
Did you lose muscle or lose weight? Like, did you find like, wow, it goes
lose weight,
fast in a different way?
No, I didn't lose weight. I gained weight. I went from, I tell everybody, I went from working out 2 or 3 times a day and eating healthy and not drinking very much beer to working out 0 times a day and eating whatever I wanted over the last 6 months that I've missed out on in the last 20 years, and drinking more than a couple of beers when I get the chance. So the calories add up real fast when you're not you're not working out. But I've been saying for the last like 5 months the diet starts on Monday, so maybe next Monday.
Next Monday, maybe. You know what? You've deserved it though. This is like a little body vacation for you.
I needed a reprieve. My diet and my exercise regimen has been so strict over the last, especially since I turned pro. So since 2007, 16 years, that I just, when I got done, everybody asked me, like, are you going to keep on working out? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And I just like, not right now. I just don't want to. I love working out. I loved working out when I was boxing, but when I don't have to, I just kind of like want to sleep in and do whatever I want in the morning. I don't want to wake up at 5 in the morning and go run anymore.
Nice.
Hey, Caleb, I got to know Jamal James pretty well. Have you guys had any conversations about, hey, you guys chose a hard business to be in. You both had success, but it's not a business where you have a built-in pension. It's not a 9-to-5 job. Have you had any conversations with Jamal about either the business or the future?
A little bit about what he's going to do next, and obviously I told him that he was one of the first people I told that I was probably going to hang him up. This is back in like July after my last fight. I'm like, I'm done, man. I can't compete on the level I want to. So I told him. He was one of the first guys that I ran into that I said I was going to be done. But it's like you said, it's a tough sport, man, and I've been very, very fortunate to have success in a sport where not many people do. And same with Jamal. Jamal's had success as well. And he still, hopefully he still has a couple more fights left in him. He's a little bit younger than I am. I think he's maybe 35 or 36, but he's been out of the ring for about a year now. So it'd be interesting to see, actually over a year now. So it'd be interesting to see where he goes next. But, boxing is a sport, like you said, we don't have players unions and retirement pensions and this and that. So you kind of got to do everything yourself. And most guys don't make even close to the money that I made. And, I'm no rich athlete or anything like that, but I made enough to raise a family and, pay for a house and a cabin and stuff like that. So I've been very fortunate and I wish I would have won a couple more fights and made some big money, but not in the cards. And now I gotta sell houses instead.
That's right. How's the new real estate gig going?
It's going well. I just got started a few weeks ago, right when I announced my retirement, and I've already signed 2 listings and just getting the ball rolling on my new career. And like we said, when I talked to you before, Don, it's a lot easier than getting punched in the face for a living. So I'll take it.
Although you talk to some realtors after a while, they feel like they are punched in the face, right? So you really have to work hard there too, but not literally. Yeah. Are you
nobody's gonna punch me in the face in the real estate world. I can guarantee that. So.
They won't even get that close.
Yeah.
Are you still going to have your hand? Are you going to coach at all, or like be a trainer for people? I mean, I know that boxing will always be in your blood, but do you have prospects in mind and lifting the game up some more as you go forward?
Yeah, I'm always going to stay involved, especially in amateur boxing here in Minnesota. Right now, actually, the National Golden Gloves tournament is going on in Detroit. So our team, Upper Midwest Golden Gloves team, is out in Detroit. I think it starts today and at 4:00 actually. So just shortly here, our guys will be going to battle out there. And those guys look up to me, and I'm very happy to mentor any of the amateur fighters around here. I haven't been in the gym too often lately, but I have been training some MMA guys just how to learn how to box and kind of up their game as far as punching goes. So whenever I can help out and mentor young fighters and just kind of be an ambassador to Minnesota boxing for as long as I can, for as long as they'll have me.
Well, let me tell you, if you ever have a class too for women that want to do self-defense and learn a couple of tricks, I could get you a group, my friend. I could get them all lined up.
All right, maybe I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, you should. Someone else had mentioned that. I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Amy Hawkert or someone else at our station said, wow, if he could get together someone like to give us some pointers, just a couple of things, that would be brilliant. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll mention that. So you never know.
All I tell them is aim high and go low, and
Hey,
like your dad and brother said.
Aim high, go low. I also wanted to thank you. So many people say that because of you and the concerts, the Armory has become this vibrant place to go after it was reopened. That you know, you either go for a concert or you go to see Caleb, and so there's so many other guys that are on the card that now people just go. How does it feel to be part of revitalizing the Armory downtown?
Oh, it's awesome. It's a beautiful, beautiful venue. Probably the best boxing venue I've ever been to, you know, and it's got national attention with Premier Boxing bringing their shows here. There's a few on Showtime, a few on FS1, and I think regular Fox as well. But just a fantastic boxing for venue, and those guys do an awesome job at the Armory, Ned and Rich and all those guys. Just a fantastic venue, and I've been there for a few concerts too, and it's awesome for concerts too. It's been a blessing to the Minnesota boxing scene to have that venue in town for sure.
Well, Caleb, I just want to thank you so much for the years, the 2 decades of excellent boxing. And yes, indeed, you are a legend here in Minnesota. And on top of that, you're just an awesome human being as well. And I just know you're going to crush it in real estate too. So I wish you the best of luck in your next career while you still bring boxing to the forefront. You're a special person, and I appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Don. I appreciate you too.
All right. I look forward to seeing you on a...
Hey, thanks, Caleb. Always love talking to you. We'll have you back.
Yeah.
Thanks. Maybe we'll see you on a park bench, right?
You
know, a park bench. Yeah.